Corporate Services Committee agenda. My name's Councillor John Lainers, and voting on this committee is Kevin O'Toole, Gladys Blackmore, and Mayor Clayton. So, as stated before, we have both live on Zoom and in council here. And so, having said that, I'll call this meeting to order. And since this is my first, if I do something wrong, someone just punch me in the arm or do something. I don't see any delegations, so we'll move past that agenda item and move to reports and Director Service Area report from Director Kinza Trim, our new Director Kinza Trim. How exciting!
Thank you, Chair Lainers. Yes, very exciting indeed. Happy to be able to provide a report on the corporate services area for committee this morning. Assessment and taxation. In that department, taxation is working on the collection of the business improvement area accounts and manufactured homes that are located within manufactured home parks. Final notices have been provided, and we will now be moving into collections. Assessment is working on new assessments for next year. The assessment notices will be mailed by late January 2022. In our finance department, they're currently finalizing the Q3 financial update for presentation at next committee meeting, so you'll see that on November 23rd. At that meeting, you'll also receive a budget status verbal update from our finance department. And they're also finalizing our budget book for distribution to council, and that will be shared with all of council this Friday, November 12th. Procurement is working with departments to finalize all the requirements for 2021 and preparing for year-end activities. To date in 2021, they have completed 146 competitive bids, resulting in just over $36 million in awards. In GIS and IT, we've completed the modernization of the fuel management system at the service center. We're also providing support to the coordinated care campus with the establishment of business internet. We have a request for proposal that is now open in replacement for our tax system, and that will close on November 22nd. As part of our outstanding items list, you'll hear in a little bit, we have a neighborhood population and age census database and app that's being finalized. That will also be brought forward at the next committee meeting on November 23rd. And they're also continuing the development of accuracy field data collection apps that support the efficient data collection and utilization of data. The most recent app that they've generated is for tracking encampment locations. In communications and marketing, they've supported the launch of Invest GP, which was a rebranding of the city's economic development. We've wrapped up the 2022 budget engagement. Results from the entire engagement will be compiled into a final What We Heard report, which will be available to view on the city's engagement site, which is under engage.cityofgp.com, and that'll be available by the end of this week. And Comms and Marketing has also worked with the Citizen Contact Center to launch Access GP, which was a campaign focused on enhancing the accessibility to the city for our residents as they submit service requests. And that was launched on November 1st. And we're seeing that the new channels of communication are slowly increasing in adoption. The corporate asset management is finalizing our first state of infrastructure report, which will also be shared with council prior to budget deliberations. And as for legislative services, the city's post-election survey is under development and will collect feedback from voters, candidates, and election workers, including information on voter demographics such as age, first-time voters, length of time as a Grande Prairie resident, and so forth. The feedback results will be presented at a future committee meeting in early 2022. And public member recruitment is underway to fill vacant terms on the city's boards and committees beginning in January of 2022. Information, including the application forms, can be found on the city's website. and council will review the applications in an in-camera session in December. And that's my report for this committee meeting.
Thank you, Director Trim. Are there any questions of Director Trim? Oh. Seeing none. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Councillor Bosch, please.
Through the chair, thank you. I just have a quick question regarding that Access GP. I know it's new and the service requests are part of the concept of this, but is there an additional, just for curiosity's sake, of a component to do some of these surveys through this type of system?
Through the chair. There is some functionality within that system that allows for engagement with our citizens that we haven't actioned at this point. However, all of our engagement to date has been primarily through a platform that we call Bang the Table, which is our engagement platform that's used by our marketing and communications team.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further questions, we'll move to the next item, which is the 2020 tax recovery sale, and we'll have Mr. Scott Smith speaking on that item. And he is on Zoom.
Yes. Thank you, Chair Layners. In the report before you, administration's put forward 3 recommendations in regards to the 2020 tax recovery sale. Annually, Council's requested to set the date, time, and reserve bids for the tax recovery sale. This process essentially began back in March of 2020 when the tax department filed 135 tax recovery notifications on properties that had more than 1 year outstanding taxes. What that means is they would have some or all of 2018 and all of 2019's taxes outstanding. Of those 135 currently, 46 of those properties remain on the sales list. This year, 36 additional properties had to be added from the 2019 recovery process. Those properties had payment arrangements made, but the owners had defaulted on the payment arrangements. So due to that, those properties have to be added to the 2020 tax recovery sale process. The number or the actual number of properties that are available at the day of the sale in the past have been minimal, as typically owners or mortgage company make arrangements to bring the accounts up to date before the sale date. The 82 properties that you have listed before you, about $2.1 million in outstanding taxes. The appendixes that are attached to the report include the appropriate legislation, the timelines that we will be following, the list of properties, and the reserve bids. Just in closing, administration is requesting that committee recommend council to approve 3 recommendations before you. With that, I'll take any questions that committee might have.
Okay. Are there any questions of Mr. Smith? Councillor Blackmore.
My computer's not moving as fast as Chairman Layners is. I noticed on the list that you provided attached to the bylaw that there's 10 or 12 properties all in O'Brien Lake. Is that all one? They're all empty lots. Is that all one landowner?
That would be correct. The majority, probably just over half of the 82 properties on the list are owned by one individual, one company.
Sorry, can you say that again, please, Scott?
The majority of the properties on the list, of the 82, over half of them would be owned by one individual, being a company.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Councillor Burke?
Yeah, thank you. One question. You'd say it's minimal, but minimal, again, can mean a variety of different numbers. On average, say over the last 2 to 3 years, is that number 2? Is it 5? Is it 10 that actually go up for sale?
Through Chair Lainers, in the past, I can speak to probably a much broader history. Excuse me. The 25 years plus I've been employed with the city, we've had 2 properties go to tax sale, both being vacant land parcels that have been abandoned. So typically, we don't see any of on the day of the sale.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't see any further names. I don't see anybody on Zoom. So, oh, sorry, Kevin, Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, if there's no other questions, I'm willing to make the motion.
Thank you.
Okay. And I move that the Corporate Services Committee recommend council approve the following. There's 3 motions. The properties subject to the 2020 tax recovery notification as per the attached list be offered for sale by public auction. Second motion, that the auction be held in the first floor North Conference Room at City Hall on Friday, March 18th, 2022 at 9 a.m. And the third, that the reserve bids for 2020 tax recovery sale be set as per the attached Appendix D.
Thank you. Is there any further comments on the motion? Seeing none, I will call a motion.
And
Sorry?
go ahead.
Go ahead. I see the motion is unanimously carried, and so good for that. So next we'll move on to correspondence. I don't see any correspondence. Other business. I don't see any other business. Bylaw and policy review. Don't see any of that either. Outstanding item list, which is on the back, and who speaks to that? Is that Director Kinza?
Thank you, Chair Lainers. We have one outstanding item, is the population and age report, which came forward in September, asking administration to create a public neighborhood level population and age report using alternative methods. So we have identified a digital solution for this, and we'll be bringing a report forward to the November 23rd committee meeting with a demonstration of the application.
Okay, so can I get a motion to adopt the outstanding list? So moved. Mayor Clayton. And having the motion,
Gotta vote. There we go.
we will ask for the vote. And that too is carried 4-0. So thank you very much. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting, and we'll have our 5-minute break. Good. Thank you.